well known on YouTube for the good reasons. And, and author, how many books now, Kevin?
16.
16,
yeah.
Wow. We need some more of those on the shelf.
I know, it's like, I remember when I wrote my 13th book, I wrote 2 books that year just to make sure I didn't die just having 13 books. That's bad.
You can't have that, that's bad.
You can't do that.
So your latest one is the Complete Guide to Winter Camping,
yeah.
And you also have the 60 canoe routes?
Yeah, that's not considered a new book because it's a rewrite with other routes, but yeah. I don't know, is it?
Well, it's a new one. It's an updated,
so
revised
I have 16 and a
version.
half books then.
And thank you for not putting revised on the cover, or new and updated, because that drives librarians insane.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, because it becomes outdated as soon as it's on the shelf. So there you go. You can claim that you knew that. That's okay. So, all right, so without further ado, I'll let you have the floor. Thanks, Kevin.
There we go. Great. Well, thanks a lot for coming out. What I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to show you a whole bunch of routes that are sort of near here. So from Killarney south. Okay, so the idea that they're not in the far north, they're all doable. And I was supposed to have this book here, but it's delayed now. I have the worst luck. But yeah, top 50 routes is now top 60 routes. But people are asking me already which are the 10 new routes. So we got Abitibi River, Woodland Caribou, which is an amazing place. Lake Temiskaming, Ottawa River, Bonnechere River, which isn't too far from here near MADOC. Wendigo to Radiant Lake, which is up near Pembroke. I'll show you that tonight. The Uxton River that flows out of Canoe Lake. Big East River, which is actually on the west side of Algonquin. McGregor Bay, which is actually just south of Killarney, which is a great area I'll show you. Bear Lake Loop, which is actually north of Killarney. And also Grey Mountain Lake, which is in Killarney. So, but we got tons of places to go paddling in Ontario. You just have to travel somewhere else to realize what we have. 2 years ago I was in Scotland and I did an amazing trip. It was incredible. I went down the River Spey and did a whiskey tour and got paid for it. I had to pace myself every day. And, but they were so jealous of where I was from because, you know, the Spey River was a nice river, but it's not a wild river. It's beautiful scenery. Whereas we can go anywhere really in Ontario for 10 days or even 20 days and not see anybody. There's a lot of places that they can't do that. That's impossible. Even in the United States, to be quite honest, I don't think there's a place. So. Nelly Lake, and that's Nelly Lake, and there's only 3 campsites on that lake, and it's a huge lake. So the idea of actually camping on that lake is amazing. And then you go down into Murray and back around. The only problem is those portages, the Grace and Nelly, are up a mountain, so they're nasty. The worst one though is going down into Murray, and that's why you should go counterclockwise, not clockwise. If you go from Murray to Nelly, it is like that, so it's not pleasant. I was 24 years old and thinking of writing a book. It was my first book when it came out when I was 26. And I was actually in Grace Lake looking for Frank Carmichael's painting spot. And I was tired, couldn't find it, so I sat on a rock. And I looked down and there was old paint smudges from oil-based painting base. And went like this with his brush. I went, wait a minute. And I looked at him sitting on the rock. So I found the rock. Robert Bacon tried to find it. I found it before him. And I'm leaving that place, coming out to Frood Lake, and this motorboat comes up to me, and he goes, "Are you the guy breaking into cabins?" I went, "What?" And I guess lots of campsites. There are some cabins, some yachts, and things like that, but it's not overwhelming, and it's very, very scenic. And you can see the Posh Mountains in the background. What you do, though, for the day or even overnight, but if you just don't want to carry the gear, just go up into Nelly and come back down again and still camping there. And you're not in the park, so you don't have to pay to get a reservation. Philip Edward Island is still a nice trip though. So the campground is right here, George Lake. You basically go around Philip Edward Island. It takes about 4 nights, and it's a beautiful trip. The best scenic part is this area here. So if you have less time, just head out to the Fox Islands camp and come back again. This is another one in Killarney. It's the north end. So I guess maybe 6 years ago, Killarney Park went to expand its range to the north. And because it's a wilderness park, and it wasn't big enough to be classified as a wilderness park, so they needed to add on to it. So they added on all this area near Comanche Lake and Bear Lake. I volunteered for 2 years to go and look for the canoe routes that they could put there, because there were always old routes, so I went to do that. And there was a guy that owned a fishing lodge, or leased a fishing lodge, sorry, there. And I contacted him and I said, do you know if there's a portage between Bear Lake and Comanche Lake? Because if there is, it would make a really good loop. And he said, absolutely not. Well, my dad taught me if someone's lying. And I knew he was lying because I knew he didn't want canoeists into his area where he promotes it to be a remote area for fishing, right? But it's going to be a new park now, and the canoeists should be in there. So I went, and I'm heading across the lake, and he recognized me, and he comes over, and he starts yelling at me, get off my lake, you're on my lake. And I was like, you don't own this lake, it's a huge lake, and it's a park now. So him and I had a bit of a heated discussion. Didn't know what to really do, so I actually stood up and I moved him. I've never done that before in my life, I swear. And I don't know why I did, but I moved him, and then I fell away. And so I went back and I wrote an article about that, and it got published, and then I went off on another canoe trip up in Quetico for a month. Came back, and the superintendent's looking for me, so he gives me a call. He goes, Kevin, do you have anything to do with what's going on in Bear Lake? I went, what's going on in Bear Lake? All these canoeists and kayakers are going there, circling the guys' cabins and mooning everywhere. I had no clue. No recollection of that event. But that route is really good. You go to the National Marina, or this marina, and you do a full circle there, and it's a great trip. Another one that's a really great trip, if you go from Canage or even that marina as well, and you head down into Great Mountain Lake. Great Mountain Lake is really, really scenic. It's in the mountains. This north area here is in granite. It's not really in the Posh Mountains, but once you get into Great Mountain, it's I think the most scenic lake in the park. If you come in from the south end, you have to do a 2,800 meter portage up a hill. You come in from Canage, you've got 4 portages. The longest is 250 meters on flat terrain. So it's a lot easier. And if you fish, all the granite area here, there's lots of fish. In the Quartzsite Mountains, there's not because of acidity, acid rain, but there's really good fishing. The French River, yeah, it's busy with motorboats and cottages and stuff. It's not true wilderness, but it's a sense of history. The idea you can hear the voyageurs call it singing at night. The idea that it's actually a highway for everybody, the explorers, the natives, and everything else. So it's really neat to do that. If you want to do the lower French, you basically come down the old Warrior Channel and head back up the main channel, and that's a nice 3-night trip. The only disadvantage is that if there's heavy winds on Georgian Bay, you might get stuck, which is actually, I think, a good thing to get stuck. It's always good with this, you have your phone and contact your boss and say, so sorry, I'm windbound. I've actually done that and not be windbound. I lied. Another one I actually know is the upper French. I prefer the upper French. Why? Because I really enjoyed watching Bill Mason films, and he paddled this area all the time. So when you see his films, especially the family film, this is where they were. So you basically go down the main channel, the French, and you go up the North Channel, and that's a nice 3 to 4 night loop. These are areas a lot of people don't know about. So if you go just between the Pickerel River system and the French River system, or I guess sort of near North Bay, you actually get 2 routes. One is Restouel Provincial Park. You go down the Restouel River, up along the Nipissing River, and up through Bass Creek, and then it's a loop there. So some young parks people that worked there a couple years ago went and re-maintained these routes. So it's actually a good trip to do. Another one is actually near Port Loring, which is actually Grundy Provincial Park is right over here. You actually do a horseshoe trip through here, and that's all Crown land or Living Legacy Park, which means there's no fee to it. Georgian Bay too. Man, 2 years ago, my friend and I paddled all the way down for 8 days along Georgian Bay, and it's beautiful. We used an open canoe, not a kayak, but you can kayak. And my favorite part was the upper part. Here it gets really busy on the weekends, like crazy busy, but over here we didn't really see too many people at all. It's that ocean-like vista of Georgian Bay, it's amazing. But yeah, it's open water, so I found out there were so many deltas and inlets and stuff like that, there really wasn't a dangerous paddle. You also have Massasauga Provincial Park, Blackstone Harbor area near Perry Sound, and I don't know if you've been there, but it's all maintained interior campsites and stuff like that. Where I live in Bridgenorth, and just north you've got the Kawartha Highlands Provincial Park, which is an incredible park. It's actually probably the closest park from the Toronto area. And it wasn't a park when I first got there, when I first moved up there about 30 plus years ago. It was just Crown land, but there's so many people going to it now, they had to manage it. And I gotta tell you, they're gonna have to do that with Queen Elizabeth Wildlands Park. I was just there with students a couple of weeks ago, and there was the amount of people that are camping on Sheldon Lake, or Sheldon Lake, it's just brutal. So they're going to have to create something there. But this is my favorite route in the Kawarthas. You go up through Copper Lake, Serpentine Lake, and back around again. And the only disadvantage is this one portage here. It's about 1,000 meters. It's flat, but it's 1,000 meters. So what my daughter and I usually do is we go up into Copper, and that's a beautiful lake. You swear you're in Algonquin Park, beautiful island campsites. Or going to Serpentine, they just come back the same way. It's a really good weekend trip. And this place in Kawarthas is amazing. I do this river out how many times? So this is Mississauga River. A lot of people don't do it because when they look at the map, there's 24 portages, but you don't have to portage the majority of those routes, of those trails. So you head down the river, but what you can do, and what my daughter and I do a lot of, we head down to the first chutes, we camp at the waterfall, and we paddle right back up again, because there's no really strong current until after the chutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a short little video, a section of what we did last year. My buddy dropped me off near Apsley, and I paddled all the way through the Kawarthas and then through the lift lock, and I paddled right back to my house in Bridgeton. I live right across the road from Chemung Lake. And what was really cool is I bought this house about 3 years ago, and my laneway is the old native portage, which is really kind of funny. Every time I check the mail and went up the hill, I go, I can't believe I have to portage every day of my life. But it was a really neat story to do that. Shaded lakes with a bunch of portages, that make it to a trip. The river, it's more of a journey. You're part of the river. And as you flow down the river, you see the changes. Like now in the Savannah, swamp with red maple. And I left the rock in the rapids. More to come down here though, that's going to change again. But yeah, river is a journey, it's a story. And to actually paddle a familiar place. I just organized a trip for the end of May. I'm actually doing the entire Thames River in southwestern Ontario, from Woodstock to near Detroit. And why? I used to live in Milton, born and raised there. It was some kind of Huck Finn feel to it. And I don't know what I've done though, because I looked at the map, and this is over 300 kilometers. It's like, oh, this is exciting. But another place though is the Halliburton, oh, what's it called? I forget the name of the place, by Lisbon Cross Center. The Halliburton Waterway Trail. Yeah. And there's lots of places there. I found too that I've been going there lately, the last couple of years, a lot, because I just like the place. But it's not used that much. I don't know why. Cortez is busier than this place. But my favorite route there is to go from Big Hawk Lake into Red Pine and do the canyon, come back around, and that's a good 1 night, 2 night trip. But Algonquin Park, so I got to talk about Algonquin. It's a love and hate relationship. The average portage in Algonquin is 1,000 meters. That's insane, okay? I don't know who designed this park, but you're walking all the time. But I love it. I love going in the spring and catching trout. I love watching moose. It's a great place to watch for wildlife. I go up to Quantico, the average portage there is 350 meters. It's made for the canoe. But it's just that familiar feeling of Algonquin. So if I look at where to go in Algonquin, some outside routes that you can do is go to Vonshire Provincial Park. It's a great park, and there's campsites right along the river. And you either do this as a day trip or overnight, because the campsite's halfway through. I wouldn't do the Vonshire River inside of Algonquin. It's a nightmare. You're walking the entire time. You can't, it's not even really a canoe route anymore. But this area here is a really easy, leisurely trip. Another one is actually coming in from the west, towards the west gate. You actually drive all the way along. It's called the Upston River, and that's actually, Tom Thompson went into Algonquin by using this river. And you go from Canoe Lake all the way down to Upston Lake, where the outfitters are, and it's a good 1 night trip. And one campsite is right on Gravel Falls. It's just stunning. If you go on the very north end by Cedar Lake, near Pembroke, you go into the Petawawa system on Radiant Lake. And why I should go to Radiant Lake? The entire shoreline is this beach campsites everywhere. And not many people go. And this was their traditional way to start canoe routes, because that was where the train came in the old days. And people came into Algonquin by way of train. So what you do is you go from Windigo Lake. It's a really easy route all the way to Radiant, and you just come back again. And it's a good 2 night, 3 night, 4 night, it all depends how long you want to stay on Radiant Lake. The Big East River is actually just by Huntsville, so you can actually go from Huntsville and go up. You could start here and do a shuttle, but what I do a lot is I actually start here and I paddle upstream, and I camp and I paddle downstream. And I don't know if you've been to Arrowhead Provincial Park, but when you look down from there, there's beautiful scenery, the sand banks, the sand cliffs. Well, that's where you're paddling, and that's where you're camping.
You tried it one year. You couldn't get the river.
No?
It was too shallow.
Oh yeah, water dependent, yeah. Especially up there. But yeah, it's just a beautiful area. Lots of access points in Algonquin.
Very large expanse of space where you can get lost there for days. And I enjoy going up there every few years and being lost for days at a time.
This is one of the last real true wilderness zones in central Ontario, Algonquin.
I think Algonquin Park, even though it's a provincial park, many people think of it on the national scale.
It's just one of the nicest places you can go.
Oh, I've been paddling the Petawawa since the 1980s, so it's one of my favorite rivers.
I'm here for the rapid. I don't like the flat water.
Sticking your head outside the tent, and you've got the most beautiful landscape in the world right in front of you.
Nothing like it. There's nowhere else like it. It represents Canada in every way, shape, or form.
If you catch an Opiongo to sunset and you hear the loons out in the North Arm, that's my most blissful moment.
Just find seclusion and to get away from others, the introvert that I am.
Algonquin just represents wilderness. You can go back 100 years in your own mind and be camping here and think of what it was like for a lot of people. I often think I was born 100 years too late. Of course, I do like my Kevlar trim.
It's really great to get out in the outdoors and just see things that look very untouched.
Well, I've spent the last 15 summers in Algonquin Park, and I cannot imagine spending another summer anywhere else. This is what I know.
You know, every trip holds a new experience and new life lesson with it.
They'll be ragged and dirty, and they'll stink when they come back, and they'll be as proud as they can be, right?
It's become part of who I am and how I think of myself as tripping in Algonquin, because I've done that for so long.
I know that wherever I'm going to be going and tripping in Algonquin, it's just going to be really beautiful, and I'm going to have a great time.
Every trip is so much fun.
just in a different way, and I love that.
I think it's just really good to get away from the city and the buzz and all the noise and lights and internet.
It just feels so nice to be like connected with nature.
You come to realize a lot about who you are and about the kind of person you want to be.
I was born and raised here, and it's my home. What do you think about your home? This is my home.
I take my eulogy about 7 years ago. And one of the questions was, where and when were you happiest? And all of my happiness was in there. It's all of Arlington Park. It's the most beautiful place in the world, don't you think?